Tesla stock is currently $432 a share. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I think Tesla is going to be doing for the rest of the year, what's left of it, November and December, and what I think it's going to do for 2026. So right now, I'm up $60,000 on this position, 88%, and I have 300 shares at 228.84. So in total, it's probably about like 68K invested. Let's do the math right quick. 228.84 times 300. So this is what I have invested in Tesla, 68K, and the position right now is worth what, $129,000. So not too bad, almost 100%, and it was over 100%. It was like at 110, 105 the other day when Tesla was around the 470s, but we've been crashing now, even after Elon and the shareholder approval. So yeah, look at this. This was just on Friday. We were at 450, 456 or pre-market, and we dumped all the way to lows of like 420. Yeah, that's pretty wild. So I got a significant dump, like a 5% dump. So I'm just gonna go over some of the charts right quick of what's gonna be going on with Tesla, and then some of the fundamental news, because a lot of people like going over the charts first. You know, I'm more of a fundamental guy, but the charts aren't bad to look at. You know, I'm obsessed with the monthly. Nobody's uses the monthly. That's only for like high time frames, and the weekly. The daily, some traders use it, but I like combining daily, weekly, monthly. That's just me. Lower time frames is more for like short-term trades, but those aren't the powerful moves that you could take risk on. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna lose all your money in a 0 DTE, 1 week option expiration. So Tesla right now it's around 429. It says here, because this is what it closed at technically. So it's at 432 after market, give or take $3 around there, and we're sitting at the 50-day. So we got highs at 470 once. We got a second high around the 470s, and this is like a little double top right here. You know, I'm not saying it's a double top. I'm just saying, you know, you tested it once right here. It's a significant level. There seems to be strong sellers here. So clearly it's having struggles with this 470, 480 range. But if you give it back a little further up to last year, you actually do see that all-time high was actually 488. You know, then we had the 50% dump. But so all-time highs of 488, and we start talking about 500. Could be that same day. But right now we're sitting at the 50-day, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad, because you have some will say a support around this range, give or take, right? Let me put it right here. You have a support right here. I'm not gonna lie. And you have a resistance all the way up here. Same thing. You have a resistance up here. So really we're in a zone, chopping. And Tesla is the king of chop. Sometimes it's the king of exploding, and it's also the king of chop. So it'll die out for months. Right here, when we were struggling from like the 360s to the 300, really 280, when Elon was going at Trump, when this was after the Nazi situation, after the burning of Teslas, then came Elon going at Trump, Elon calling him Epstein, whatever. We were in this range for months. We were here May, June, July, August. Then finally September, we broke out, which was right here. September, boom, we finally broke out of a 4 or 5 month range, which kind of sucked. But hey, when you've been through the dirt with this at $100, $130, you're just even glad to be around $300. I'm gonna be honest. We exploded, and now it's kind of doing the same chop around here from like 400 to 470, give or take. I'm not gonna say 500 because we haven't gotten that high yet, but so right now we're still looking good. We're defending the 50. We're defending the support zone. If it wants to dip down here, it could get a little ugly if we start closing under the 50, start closing under these levels, try to go for this little gap fill. But honestly, this is what the price Elon bought. Something that's like a psychological support. You know, this $390, $396 range. And you know what? It could be true. It could be that we never visit those lows again. And I'm on the camp that I want that. But it's not what you want. It's what the market gives you. So right now, if you really want to be careful with this $400 to $14 range, so that little range is the support, the resistance up here, 470, 475, and let's actually look at it on the monthly, because the monthly is where you get to see the whole story. So the thing about the monthly is we topped in 2021 We were under this line for 2 years, 2022, 2023, really, and 2024. So 3 years we were under this line, downtrending. Finally broke out last year, November and December. We got a retest, a straight 50% dump when Elon went Nazi, Teslas were burning, all that. Now we've recovered up to these same highs. So Tesla hasn't given gains. If you just throw this line of the downtrend, just throw it straight like this, like a level, you're going to see. We've been just clearly here once, here twice, here 3 times. It hasn't given any gains in years. Amazon is kind of in the same camp, hasn't given gains in years. But I like leaving this line here just because it was hell to get out of this. If you go back and you take out these candles, it was under this for years. And you knew this breakout was going to come one day, and it eventually did come. So that was amazing to witness last year when it went back up to 400 after being in the slumps for years. What am I going to show you guys now? Some of the fundamental news, what I like. This is going to close the case. I don't care how good of a trader you are. You know, I don't think you could do 8x trading in a 5-year span. I don't think you could do it. Now, right here, it says benchmark for 10 years, but I'm going to be honest. I don't know about the EBITDA goals. I don't know about any of these goals, but the 8.5 trillion market cap, that could happen in 5 years. That could happen in 5 years. Say they do even half of this EBITDA, just $200 in EBITDA, 150 billion in EBITDA. You really think the market won't reward them, putting them at 8.5 trillion if all these other companies are already going to be 5, 6, 7? You really think they're going to leave Tesla behind at 2 or 3 trillion by 2030? I'm talking in 2030 terms. They're not. They're not. So Tesla, 8.5 trillion. I don't care how good of a trader you are. You're better off just holding Tesla shares, sitting on your ass, doing nothing, and getting the whole 8x. Well, that's depending if you buy it at 1 trillion. Now it's probably like a 7 or 6x. But, and you know, for my position, it's probably going to be a little more. It'll probably be 1,000%, 10x, which would be awesome. I'm not going to lie. But look at these goals. Benchmark over 10 years, 8.5 trillion market cap has to be achieved. Case is already closed with that. I'm going to be honest. Case is closed with this. What more do you want? That itself says it. $400 billion in EBITDA. I'm going to just say $400 billion in EBITDA. It'll be $15 trillion market cap. I don't know, but yeah. You do the math for me. Yeah, tell me if you agree. Don't do the math for me. Just tell me. Do the math yourself. Tell me if you agree. 400 EBITDA. A quarter. Actually, yeah, it's a quarter. Not even a year. 400 billion EBITDA a quarter. Yeah, that's $15 trillion market cap. 20 million vehicles, they can knock that down. 10 million full self-driving subscriptions by here to 2035. That should be easy peasy, I'm assuming, right? 1 million robo-taxis, that's undershooting it. 1 million robo-taxis, that's undershooting it. So really, this whole 10-year benchmark is undershot. I'm going to be honest. This could be achieved probably, I'm not going to say 5 years, probably like 7 or 8. The market cap goal is the one that I think will be the first one to be achieved. But the 400 EBITDA quarterly and 1 million robots will probably be the hardest ones to do. But 1 million robo-taxis, we could get that in 4 or 5 years. So there's really not much to it. There's a lot to look forward to with this company. This company is crazy. And I was hyping up Meta so much that I tweeted this out. Let me give Tesla some love since I've been hyping the dog out of Meta. And I'm not going to lie, I'm super excited with Meta. I haven't been as excited in a position with Meta as I have since with NVIDIA. I don't know if I wrote the words. I don't know if you understand, but I haven't been this excited since NVIDIA was $20. Right? That's why I make my videos with the NVIDIA shirt, because I feel like I was early on in NVIDIA. $20. It was 200 back then before the split. Look at it now. 1,800 or yeah, 2,000. It's at 200. NVIDIA was one of my big winners, and I stopped trading it when it was 120. So when it hit 1,200, that's when I called quits and I said no mas, because you know I wanted to rotate. That's when I rotated everything to Tesla. Now I got some Meta, and I'm super excited with Tesla too. But I'm gonna be more excited with Tesla when they start getting their earnings, and it's crazy because I'm up $60,000, 88%, sometimes 100% with this Tesla position, and with Meta I'm underwater. But hey, it is what it is. I'm more excited with Meta, man. I think they could go to 2.5, 3 trillion soon. But this video is about Tesla. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a sub. It really helps me out. You know what I mean? Thank you for all the likes and all that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.